Hello everybody! Today we're going to see how I draw Moff Gideon from the Mandalorian. Okay, pencils first and then Sharpies. So if you don't want to watch the pencil portion of the video where I sketch the entire thing out, look in the description and you'll find a link that you can click on that will take you to the Sharpie portion of the video. I'll even include one for color. But for those of you that are going to stick around, I'm going to start off with a quick sketch for myself and get us going. Okay, so here we go. I know where I'm going to go with this, and I'm just going to say it right now. Spoiler alert. Hopefully you've watched it by now, or, well, you have to, right? That's why you're here, because I'm going to put it in there. I'm just going to say it right now. If you haven't seen it, don't draw this. Don't come here. Well, you know what? You've seen the picture. You know where I'm going with this. The intro picture kind of showed it off. I'm going to draw the Darksaber. So, you know what, little bit of spoiler, but yeah, again, you should know what you're in for. That's why you're here, right? Oh, you know what, let me finish up. And so, I was starting to do what I always tell you guys not to do, which is go for the detail. And I need to not do that. I need to finish up the sketch. Okay, something like that. And for the Darksaber, no, I know how I'm going to do it. I know exactly how I'm going to do it. I always have a problem drawing lightsabers because it should be light, and I don't want to draw, you know, the actual edge of it. So I'm always trying to figure out how to draw the blade so I can add it with color and it stand out, you know. But I think with the Darksaber it's going to be pretty easy, because considering the fact that it's so dark that I can just color it in with black and add a little shadow outside, that it should make sense. Sorry, I'm going to thicken this up just a little bit, because there we go. Yeah. So when I add the color, it will make sense as to how I colored it, or how I inked it in. Okay, and I think for his hand, I'm just going to do like just like a regular, you know, kind of cool posed, just out there, because it's this hand that's really the star of the show, right? It's a bit big though. Let me erase that real fast. Let me make it a little bit smaller. There we go. Okay, that'll work. Okay, but he's gonna have a cape over some of it anyway, so let's see. So it's just gonna wrap around. That's kind of the cool thing about his cape, is it pretty much just goes around him, so we don't have to draw like where it hangs over, like Superman's, where it like hangs over and attaches. He just pretty much has that hanging off the back. So okay, so let's see if I can figure out how to make his armor look right. And then so I'm just going to add just a few more little details, and then we'll get started. Like for the hand, I guess I should draw that in, because the cool thing about the hand is the handle of the Darksaber is flat like this. So we're pretty much going to be drawing something like this. Not round, but flat. So let's see how we can do this here. So if I do the thumb over, let's see, there's that digit, like this. There's going to be the handle, like that. So I'm going to do this finger kind of above it, like that. This one's going to come down and hang over the actual handle. Same thing here and there. So yeah, we can pull this off. We can make it look right. Alright, so that being said, I'm just going to do this real fast. just to kind of give it a straight edge. And then I'll come back with the Sharpie to like that, just do it by hand. But at least I've got one edge to kind of follow, and that will give us the handle side too, to make sure that we are kind of following a straight path. But keep it, handle with blade, should be straight across. Okay, so let me see. Hopefully I remember the cape. I am notorious about forgetting the cape, and I have to come back and edit the video. And so I'm gonna try to, there you go. If I do it dynamic like this, that should help see it. You know what I mean? I think that's part of the problem is when I erase stuff too, it kind of hides it. Okay, so let's see what I can do for the face here. I'm gonna try to get as close as I can. I'm not good at caricatures. In other words, I can't make it look like the actual people. But let me see what I can do here. Maybe I can figure out some of his more prominent features, because that's what you do with caricatures. You find what it is about them that makes them stand out or look like them, and you exaggerate it. So we are kind of doing the same thing with this tiny that's not too bad, this tiny drawing. So we kind of have to exaggerate a few things just to make it stand out, That's not too bad. Ooh, that's not too bad at all. Hey, I did pretty good for this one. Let's see if it works out with the inking, but that kind of looks like him. That's crazy. I got it. Okay, not bad. I'm very proud of this one. Let's see if I can pull it off. Let's see if it works, because it's not 100%. You're not going to look at this and say, hey, oh yeah, that's Carlos was it Esposito? What's his name? But you'll be able to look at it and say, well, that kind of does look like Moff Gideon. All right, so I say we get going. Let me erase some of this to hide some of these sketch lines, and we'll stick with the confidence lines. Well, I'm spitting everywhere. I'm excited. Okay, so we're going to welcome everybody that skipped to the Sharpie portion, because I'd appreciate anybody watching any portion, honestly. Okay. And I just want to erase some of this real fast to get ready for it, because I want the Sharpie to stand out. I want the Sharpie to be the Star War. All right, come on. Sometimes you got to make yourself laugh, even if it doesn't make anybody else laugh. You got to entertain yourself. So I say we go. It's time. Welcome, skippers. Welcome to the Sharpie portion of the video. I'm going to be using, don't forget to like and subscribe, because I do a drawing every day. You can join along and have some fun. I'm going to be using a Sharpie fine point and a Sharpie pen, mostly the fine point, but the pen is a little finer than the fine point and can find some of the lines that the fine point can't quite find. Booyah. So I've sketched the entire thing out, and I've erased most of it, left just a ghost of an image that I usually make with a special computer, but I'm doing it by hand today. So I'm going to start off with the eyes with the Sharpie pen, because I can get fine points with this that I can't quite get with this. So I've sketched the entire thing and I'm ready to go. So I'm not just throwing a line down, I'm going by my sketch. So I'm going to draw his eyelids first, just to see if I've got him where I want him with the way his head is facing. And one of the things I was talking about is I'm not good at caricatures, but I think I found enough of the details that I can kind of pull off that it looks like him. So I'm just gonna add just a little bit of a pupil like that. It's so tiny that there's only so many lines I can add, so that's why I'm saying that, I'm gonna, like that. See, I wanted a top eye, like a heavy eyelid, but it already bled into it, so I have to be careful of the lines that I add. I wanted that to be see-through, but it's not going to work, so I got to figure something else out. So here we go with some of the lines. I'm going to draw his eyebrows like this. and he's got like a very prominent eye socket, and so that was what I was kind of playing on. So let's see what we can do here. I'm gonna have to draw his nose anyway, so let's come down here and draw like that for his nose. Another line like this. So let's see if we can do like a, you know what I mean? Kind of something like that. But there we go. Not too many lines. But see, sometimes when you put it in and don't do it with color, it really stands out. So I don't really like to always do that. So I'm just going to draw a few of the lines that I think are in his face, and then the rest I'll do with color because it's already starting to get crazy. So I'm going to draw his mouth here real fast. And then I'm going to draw his mustache, and I think that's going to help with, let me draw the bottom lip. It's going to help with the way he looks. Like that. There we go. That's starting to get very, very Moff Gideon. So now I'm going to draw his chin like this. So I can draw his side jaw like this. And then let's do the other side too. I'm going to come down here, bring it in like that, and I'm going to start to thicken these edges up just a little bit too, because when I switch to this Sharpie, it's super thick, and you're definitely going to see a difference. So I'm trying to match what's about to happen. Okay, so that means I can draw his ear now. I'm just going to draw some little like cartoonish looking inside just to give it a little bit of detail. Let's see. So I'm going to draw like his hair line back like this. Let's see. Okay, and let's go ahead and draw the other side over here too before I start just going crazy with the hair. Okay, draw a little bit of the ear. We can see just a hair of it, and continue over to the side. So I'm gonna draw his hairline like this, and his hair is kind of like wrapped over, so I'm gonna kind of play around with a look. Like, let's see if I can do something like this. Okay, not bad, not bad. So now his neck's gonna come down here, but I think I'm gonna stop with this. I'm gonna move over to the big Sharpie, and you'll see what I'm talking about, how much it's bigger and why I was trying to go bigger here too. I'm already home, so I figure I'd go big, right? So I can go big and go home. Ooh, my paper's buckling. Let me straighten that out. All right, so here we go. So I'm gonna draw his collar like this. Let's see how thick that is. Woo, buddy. Okay. So I'm going to come down here, draw the edge of it like that, and his shirt's going to come down, but that's where his armor is. So I'm going to draw the straps that connect it like that, and then I can draw the actual pieces. So it's going to come over like this, kind of dent in like that, just a little bit from the design, and we'll go ahead and just draw the edges because it's a big old chesty armor piece. All right, and let's see, it just kind of does one of these. There are levels to it, so I'm just going to kind of do something like that, just to indicate that it's not a smooth piece. It's got a certain level to it. So let's draw some of those levels with the smaller Sharpie. I'm going to come in here and emphasize this part like that by using the smaller Sharpie. So sometimes you could do stuff like that to get certain looks. You know, you kind of accent certain parts by using a thick and thin Sharpie. So let's see if I can. I think it kind of goes up a little bit, so let's do something like this. There we go, and that'll kind of indicate that it's got a little bit extra, some detail. And we'll add space parts. That's what I like to call all the special detail. Space parts. All right, there we go. So let's move on from here. I'm going to draw his shoulders, and I was talking about this too. He's got a cape, but it's kind of behind him, so we don't have to worry about it tucking in or where it's tied on. We can just draw his body and then remember the cape at the end and add it on there. So I'm going to draw his shoulder pad like this. let's go ahead and do the other one over here too. Might as well. Something like that. We'll go ahead and connect it where it's not. And now let's go ahead and just draw the arm down here to the saber. So it's pretty much cloth. So to about right here is where we're going to draw his glove. So I'm just going to pretty much just do something like that. There's his elbow. And then I'm going to add some creases and folds. Always keep your Sharpie, but I'm about to pick that right back up, so I'm not worried about it. Let's just draw some creases and folds from where it's, you know, it's cloth. So I like doing stuff like this to kind of show that it's got bends in it. It kind of helps, you know, make your drawing come alive too. It gives it a little something extra. Okay, so we're just going to draw his glove here, and his wrist is about right there. So I'm just going to come up, bring it out just a little bit like that to kind of, you know, emphasize it just a little bit. So he's got like a big wristy part, and so the hand, we're going to be doing this. We're going to be holding the saber handle, which is square. It's not round. Hopefully you watch the Clone Wars. You know everything about this. If not, you should definitely watch the Clone Wars. You've got 6 months until the Mandalore starts right back up again. So you might as well follow up, catch up with the Clone Wars, and see where the Darksaber saga, and we can all speculate as to how Moff Gideon got it. Going to be crazy and fun, right? Okay, so anyway, so back to what I was saying. So we're going to draw the meat of the hand that you can see like this over the thumb. So I'm going to draw this like that. Then let's go ahead and I'm going to use, no, I'm not going to use, I used a Sharpie to give me a straight edge there, but I'm going to use the pencil line to see where that is. So I'm just going to come in here like that, do it by hand, and there's my edge. So the meat of the hand that I was talking about, these parts right here, I'm just going to go ahead and do something like that. And there. And I'll add some detail in a second. I'm going to draw the fingers and show you where we are. So because of that, these are kind of wrapped around. I've got these, and you can see the edges right there. Almost, it depends on how you draw it, or almost with this. And this finger is up a little bit like that, a little bit higher. So I'm going to draw that finger a little bit higher, put it in like that. These other fingers I'm going to bring down. Same thing, a little bit lower. The pinky's smaller, so I'm just going to do that. Okay, so what I was talking about is I'm going to add just a little bit of detail just to kind of help out so we can see where we are, just to kind of give it just some edges. Okay, there. And I'm going to thicken that up just a little bit, and so I'm also going to give it some thumb lines, because also he's got fingerless gloves, so just going to kind of, there we go. Add a little extra. Make it your own. Make it awesome. So what I was talking about in the sketch too is I was trying to figure out how to draw the Darksaber so I can color it in. And I think I know what I'm going to do. So I'm just going to give him the edge there. And I'll bring that out just a little bit more. And so now I'm just going to, let's just draw it. Let's just draw what we got. So I've already done my line, so I can just kind of follow that. Come down like this, and so I'm going to just poke it out a little bit like that and bring it down. All right, it's a little bit over. It should have been shifted just a little bit, because look at how it is off the handle, but that's okay. You can do yours better. I'm just going to keep it like it is, because I'm going to live with what I did. I'm not going to cry about it or worry about it. It should have been shifted, because look at that handle versus the blade, but that's okay. It's going to be awesome. All right, I don't know why I'm taking the cap off. So let's move over to this arm here. So same thing, we're going to draw the edge of the glove on my sketch. I'm not just throwing it down there. I know where it is. So I know where I can go with this, and just drawing some bumps for the material, okay? So same thing, I'm going to draw some creases, because I know that his shirt has been wrinkled and used and stretched out, you know? Okay, so same thing, we're going to draw the edge of the glove to the big wristy joint. Look at my hands are shaking for some reason today. Look at that. Bumpity bumpity bump. It's crazy. So we're going to draw the hand just pretty much like this. Nothing too crazy, because this is just a regular old hand. The Star War is over here. Okay, I know I'm saying Star War. I'm not saying Star Wars. I'm being silly. Before anybody tries to correct me. Draw the finger like this. And then the other ones are just kind of bent back behind it, like this. That one's a little longer. The other ones you can't quite see. So that's all we're gonna do, like that. All right. Again, I'm gonna add just some you know, some lines, some creases, because this is a glove that's seen a lot of use, a lot of war, a lot of damage, and whatnot. Okay, so, sorry, cap that one off. Don't let me forget the cape. So here I'm gonna draw his shirt, which is pushed in a little bit because of the armor there. And then he's got his little belt that we're just gonna kind of do something like this. And the picture I have, I think we're gonna put an edge on it like that. I can't remember right now, honestly. It's hard when all I have to go by are screenshots. So sometimes I'm right, sometimes I'm wrong. Okay, so there's a flap over this part of the shirt, skirt, whatever you want to call it. It hangs down a little bit. So there's a gun holster over here. So let's just do something kind of like this that you can't quite see, but you know it's there. Okay, so there, now we're just doing material. So we're gonna bring his leg down here like this, tuck it into his boot, like that. Same thing over here. And let's add a little bit extra of wrinkles and folds. You know my favorite. You know how I like to do. Something like that. We won't go too crazy, but we will. Every time I say that, I'm like, I'm not going to go too crazy, and I'm not going to do any more. And I start adding more and more and more and more and more and more lines. It's crazy. All right. So boots are just regular old space boots. So we're just going to come down, do something like this. There's the other edge, just to define where we are. I'm going to come down here for the toe, like this, over, like that. And I'll add some detail in a second. Come down here for this one. There's the heel. There's the front, so we know where we are. Down to the toe, into the heel, like this. Again, I'm following my sketch, so I'm not just perfectly tracing around. I know what I was doing because of the way that I planned this out. So remember, always plan everything out, and you can do stuff like this. But it's a lot harder if you just start just drawing lines, because you can be done if you're Kim Jung-ji, right? Is that how you pronounce his name? That guy is crazy, but I'm not. So there you go. So I'm just drawing some lines just to show, again, the creases and folds where it's been used and worn and stretched out, you know? Okay. So the last thing is a cape. Remember I told you, can't forget the cape. So for the cape here, it's all, like I said, it's back behind him. So all I gotta do is draw like the back shape like that. God, look how shaky my hand is. I don't know what's going on today. I guess I'm nervous. I'm excited. So let's say it's going over there. It's kind of wrapped over there. Then it's gonna come down and hang like this. The back side is in like that. I'm gonna tuck it back there. And then we're gonna kind of flap it out like this. Then we're gonna do the inside hanging down like that. There we go. Like that. And let me add a few extra lines and connect it where it didn't connect, just to emphasize. A few extra lines just to emphasize the lines and the awesomeness and the mighty power of his cape. And there's something about a cape when you wear it. You just feel awesome, right? I don't know. Anyway, so let's take care of the rest with color. So that is Moff Gideon from The Mandalorian. So here is my colored version. You could do it however you like. I just thought I'd show you how I decided to color it. If you'd like to color it like this, you can always pause the video here and use the coloring techniques that I used, or you can just make it your own. Remember, this is how I draw. You draw how you draw. Don't forget to like this video and subscribe for more adventures of how I draw. Plus, don't forget to hit that notification button to be updated about each new video.